Open your mind. Your mind. Your mind. Your mind.
Let me see the fucking. Where's he at?
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, see, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost at $1 billion.
The Popular Thought Series.
3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hears these sirens and looks through the mirror and sees this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, Paul. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Huh? Why do you think you never pick up a paper till you read over and over and see white families? You think it's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 40 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are better? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that any time a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you used to drive a car. And if you use it wrong, then you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, if we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Fifth Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Westinghouse. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
Happy. San Antonio, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear suspect down, 10-4. 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your mind. Your mind. Your mind. Your mind. And peace, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Popular Thought Series. We're right here on the old T.P.O.T. YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Special guest tonight, TWANA LAWLER will be in the house, and we will be talking about, well, we will be asking the question, I should say, have we forgotten about HIV and AIDS. But before we get started, y'all know I always start the show off with thanking you good folks, man, for all that you do. Because I realize that you don't have to like this damn channel. You don't have to subscribe to this channel, watch it. And you definitely don't have to drop your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces. But you good folks choose to do so. You choose to do so, man. And for that, I'm thankful, I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm appreciative, man. And like I always say, man, I never take you good folks lightly, man. I never have, and I never will. I just want y'all to know, man, that I appreciate y'all, man. I do, man. I appreciate the likes, the shares, the views, the subscriptions, and of course, I appreciate your hard-earned coins when you drop them on this platform. So I just want y'all to know, man, that I thank y'all. All right. All right. So let's get at it. Like I said, Lady TWANA LAWLER is here tonight. And full disclosure, I interviewed Pastor Lawler a while back. It might have been, I don't know, 2014, I believe. Back when I was in radio. I was working for a radio station, Nubia Hood Radio. Shout out to Nubia Hood Radio. I was working for a radio station, and she was one of my guests that night. And she told a compelling story, man. And she's gonna be here tonight. We finally linked back up somehow, and like I said, it's been a while since I've spoken to Mrs. Lawler. But we're gonna get up here tonight, man, and we're gonna catch up a little bit, man, see what she's been up to. And we're gonna talk about this HIV AIDS thing, man, because I think we as Black people, we may have forgotten, about it to a degree. We may have forgotten about it. So I think tonight would be a good night to remind folks, that HIV and AIDS is out there. It hasn't went anywhere. All right. It has not went anywhere. So it's something we need to pay attention to. It's something we need to pay attention to. We're still waiting for Lady TWANA to come through. So in the meantime, let me see if I can show you good folks something right quick. Here we are. All right. Y'all see this here, right? This is from the one and only CDC, Centers of Disease Control. And they're giving basic statistics about HIV and AIDS. As they say, in their forward, they say HIV and AIDS remain a persistent problem for the United States and countries around the world. While great progress has been made in preventing and treating HIV, there's still much to do. The question in this section provide a broad overview of the effects of HIV and AIDS in the United States and globally. For more detailed analysis of HIV data and its impact in the United States, see our Statistics Center. Now, we're not doing all of that, but what we are going to do is I'm going to show y'all, and I don't know if y'all can see this. Now, if you look over here in the legend, right? The legend, this color blue here means, well, actually, let's start here. This color here means there's 1 to 75. And what they're talking about is per capita, meaning how many people per, what's good, brother TVA, brother AM1, I see y'all up there. What this is saying, this is talking about per capita, right? So you're talking about people per 100,000 people. You see this color here is between 1 and 75. This color here between 79 and 288. This number here, 372. between 762, and this color here 858 between 858 and 4,712. Now, let's start with the darker colors. Places like Florida, places like Texas, where there's 19 people per 100,000 for a total number of 4,388. In Florida, there's 25 people per 100,000, 4,573. Georgia is the highest, even though they have the least amount of cases at 2,501. Their rate per 100,000 people is 29. So Georgia is feeling the pinch. And the guest of honor has arrived. Let me bring it down. Lady TWANA.
Yes.
How you been?
Oh.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yes.
It's been a while. It's been a while. The last time we spoke, I believe I was saying earlier that, you and I, we haven't spoke since I think 2014, 2015. I don't even remember.
A long time. Mm-hmm.
A long time. So how have you been, madam?
Very good. Very good. Feeling wonderful. Moved to Atlanta, Georgia from Louisville, Kentucky. Moved here in October. I'm chasing after my dream. It's the only reason I came here. Because now I write movies and stuff. So that's why I came here. It was the best place for me to be as far as that.
Okay. Well, I didn't get into because a lot of the people that listen to me probably don't know who you are. You're a playwright, you're an author, and now you are into ministry as well, right?
Well, I'm a motivational speaker.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's a form of ministry, right?
Yeah.
Is that a form of ministry? And I was telling everyone that when we spoke back in, I guess 2014 it was, you told a compelling story. And I want to know if you wouldn't mind telling the folks here today, how this all came about, how you became who you are and what you do and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. I gave my life to God. 2000, became celibate. And in 2002, met this guy on MySpace because Facebook wasn't even thought about on MySpace. I written my first book. He was talking about the book, and that's how we started talking. And he said he was a minister, and he manipulated and tricked me. We talked for almost a year, though, before we met because it was long distance. He lived in South Carolina. I lived in Louisville, Kentucky at the time. And he wanted to meet. I took a vacation at my job and went and met him. And I told him I was celibate. I had been celibate for 2 years. And I said, I want to wait until I get married. I'm not ready to have sex and stuff. But he was like, well, I want to marry you. And he really manipulated me. And I was naive, like a baby Christian. And, he was on these scriptures out and everything. So, and I fell for it. And I gave in, ended up having sex. But after that, I didn't talk to him more. He was moving to Atlanta from South Carolina, and he said he wanted a relationship. He got what he wanted, so I was okay with that because I wanted to stick to what I said, that I want to be celibate until I meet that right man. So I became celibate again. Kept getting my grandkids. When I got my grandkids, I was getting cussed out, talked about. You know how they do when you give your life to God. Everybody comes against you. So, and because before then I was I don't want to say alcoholic. I was a beeraholic. I used to drink beer all the time. Be drunk because I was sexually assaulted when I was 21 in my apartment. So that for drinking and smoking cigarettes and stuff. But when in 2000 I stopped all of that because I gave my life to God. I really heard his voice. And when I tell people that, they think I'm making it up. But he whispered in my ear because I had just had a hysterectomy and I was in pain. I had just got out of the hospital. And he whispered in my ear and said, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. That day, I became celibate. stopped smoking, I stopped drinking and everything, and changed. I had a gold in my mouth, got it taken out. Everything about me changed. It was like my life was turned upside down. I had met that guy like 2 years later, moved to California, and I was okay, but I started not feeling well. Like I was feeling tired, and uh, stomach would hurt sometimes. But it was like in 10 years. In the 10th year, I went to this doctor in Northern California. After I went from doctor to doctor, they was telling me it was multiple myeloma, and then they would turn around and say it's kidney disease. Whole time was HIV. When I went to the lady doctor in Northern California, that's when she said your symptoms sound like HIV, and I would never thought that because I wasn't having symptoms like constantly. A year ago, before I started, and I feel okay. I was taking care of my grandkids and was sad with them, so I was making sure they were taken care of, in their school, going to their school, and all of that, PTA meetings, doing all of that. I always feel tired, always, and I would stay in the bed. Sometimes didn't feel like getting out of the bed. When she said symptoms sound like HIV, I said, because I had been celibate for 10 years at that time. And I said, no, I cannot be. I said, because I've been celibate for 10 years. She said, it doesn't matter. I didn't pay that no attention because I just, in my mind, I don't have that. Ain't no way I can have that. She came back there next week and said, tested positive for HIV. I was shocked. I was shocked. I was in denial. Medicine, I think, a week, and I didn't take it anymore because I was like, I'm going to go doctor to doctor. Somebody tell me something different because I know I don't have it. I even get to, I'll be forgetting to tell people this, but I even already know was able to order the test through the mail. And I ordered through the mail. I told my daughter, I said, the thing turned half pink, not all the way pink. I said, see, they gave me a false diagnosis. I kept going with everything because I didn't want that. And it really wasn't the disease, though. It was the stigma. I was worried about what people was going to say. People were going to look at me because I'm a Christian woman. So I know people's going to look at, oh, you said you're a Christian and blah, 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 because they ain't looking at the fact, because they don't know how it's been celibate for 10 years. They don't know I had changed my life unless I tell them that I changed my life. And then I found out I had that. So I just went into a deep depression and denial. Then 3 years later, I started getting dizzy and passing out. I had a seizure. When I had that seizure, my daughter said, you got to go back to the ID clinic. And I had no choice then because I kept coming up with excuses. I just didn't want to go because I didn't want to hear the word HIV off her. And so I went to the ID clinic, and that's when they said that I had AIDS. They didn't tell me. They told my daughters I had 2 weeks to live. And I was dying. This was in 2013. I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair. My daughters took care of me, my 2 oldest daughters. They changed me. They bathed me. I couldn't know how to use the bathroom by myself. I could tell when I had to use the bathroom that my brain wasn't working. They said when I had that seizure, disease went straight to my brain, and I should have died right then and there. But I didn't. You see, I'm alive. So I didn't die. They
Yeah, I
said
can
2
see
weeks.
that.
God is good. God is good. I am very grateful, very grateful. I tell people all the time, he's good, he's real, and he kept me alive because when my daughters told me, my daughter came in the room and said, Mama, and she was crying, and I had never seen my oldest daughter cry. And she said, Mama, you dying. The doctor said you had 2 weeks to live. And, I didn't care. At that point, I didn't care. I was saying to myself, let me die because I was still depressed. I just didn't feel like I was going to be able to live my life. I really wasn't educated about the disease. But she said something about my grandkids. And when she said, if you die, it's going to devastate your grandkids. And that's when she said that, that triggered something. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try. I had to get out of that depression. So depression, people don't really, depression can kill. So that's, disease was killing me, but depression was pushing it right along. Because when you depressed and just give up, and I was giving up. I was just giving up. I didn't care about nothing. I had written those movies, everything. I didn't care. I didn't care. I just didn't want to be alive. And I just was worried about what my mother was going to say and what my brother was going to say, what my family member was going to say. And I have to tell them eventually. That's because I live in California. They live in Louisville, Kentucky. And I had to tell them, I told my daughters tell them because I didn't know how to. I would cry when I talked about it, and I got crying. And like now I could talk about it and I don't cry, but in the beginning I would cry all the time because I was sad all the time. I ended up going to therapy too. I ended up going to therapy. He was a Christian therapist. That's why I loved him. he ended up getting his own practice. First, he was working for the government. They can't talk about God. But when he got his own practice, we would pray and everything and talk about God and everything. And that really helped me a lot. And then one day my daughter came in the room and she said, Mama, Maggie Johnson's going to be on Oprah. And at that point, I still wasn't ready to hear the word HIV. She said, you need to look at it and listen to his story. I never did want to look at it, but when it came on, that the thing was coming on, something said, look at it because I need to hear it. And when I heard his story, he said he was undetectable because I didn't really know about that you get that medicine be undetectable. When he said that, I was ready to do what I had to do. It did, and it really helped me a lot because and my daughters. I was ready to take the medicine and I was ready to do what I had to do and go get the therapy and all that. So I came a long way, but still writing. The doctor said I wasn't going to be able to write. They said I wasn't going to be, if I came back out of that, if I didn't die, they said I wasn't going to be the same because it messed with my brain. They said my brain shrunk from the seizure. It grew back. It grew back. I'm telling you, nobody could tell me God is not real. He is. Because I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk or anything. I was 98 pounds. Look at me now. It's real.
So, how many movies have you wrote since we spoke last? Because it's been about 7 years since we spoke last, right? How many movies you wrote since then?
Oh, 3. They're on
You wrote.
yes.
Oh, you wrote 3 movies since we spoke last because you had already wrote some when we were talking. So
I wrote those 3 movies. Then I wrote I think I wrote a play when we talked. It was done in New York. Then I wrote a play because I did start a ministry. It's called Don't Die, Stay Alive. It's HIV AIDS ministry. And I had a play. I wrote a play called Stigmatized. We did that there. But now I want to write. I really, and I tell people all the time because I do a whole lot of different stuff. I write poetry and stuff, but I said what I really like to do is writing the movie. I really do. So that's why I moved to Atlanta. That's the only reason why I moved there. Atlanta was like the farthest, to move somewhere. It was way down the list. But Tyler Perry's here, and there's all these production companies, and that's my goal. So that's why I moved here because I love writing movies. Because you write movies in a different world when I write them movies. Then it just love to sit there and think and see it in my head. That's how I wrote those movies because I would see it as I was writing it. And the producer called me one day. He told me, you have God gave you a heck of a gift. He said, don't let nobody use you. He said, because that's what they're going to try to use you for your gifts. And they did too. He was right. People did. I don't go for that now. We got to do it. NDA, got to be a contract because they have done that and attract our own people. My own black people. You don't expect it from them, but those the ones who be trying to. I wrote a movie before I moved to California. It was called Black Woman's Guide to Finding a Husband. This guy asked me to write it, so he had me working with this girl. The girl didn't really know how to write. This was the first movie I had ever written. So I had wrote a play, third in a gospel stage play contest. This was like in the early 2000s before I moved to California. And then wrote that movie, came up with the concept, the title, and everything. And I didn't hear anything else from them. And that was the first movie I ever written. So I didn't know about the contracts and all that stuff. And when I moved to California, we was in Walmart one day. And you know how they had the basket with the DVDs in there for $5 and stuff. And I happened to see it sticking out. And I said, wait a minute, that's my title. And I picked it up and looked at it. That's when I knew then for real. It was a learning
they made
lesson.
your movie. They made your movie.
It did not put
Well,
my
they
name
stole
on
it. They stole it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They stole it. Said the girl who didn't know how to write wrote it. And she said, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Went into bankruptcy afterwards too. That's what they get. That's what they get. 'Cause God don't like ugly, and that was ugly. That really was. But I learned from that. I learned from that. So I don't let nobody use me. But they still try. Still try.
Well, let's Well, let's get at this because tonight, tonight's title is, have we forgotten about HIV and AIDS? And I think we have.
Mm-hmm.
I just showed a chart a little while ago to the folks, and I was telling them how, how AIDS and HIV diagnosis are still continuing.
Yeah.
Um, uh, strides have been made, but it's still there. It's still a
Mm-hmm.
crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's definitely affecting us. And I don't have to tell you because
Yeah.
you know more about
Mm-hmm.
this than me. Um, right there where you are in Atlanta,
Yes.
they have a crisis there.
Mm-hmm.
They have the highest per capita number of cases than any other
Mm-hmm.
state in the country. So let me ask you this, Pastor. Do you think that we as a people, because I'm talking about us now, I ain't talking about
Mm-hmm.
nobody else.
Right.
Do you think us as a people have we gotten careless, as far as HIV and AIDS is concerned? Have we gotten careless with it?
Yeah. Yes. Because I don't know why people don't use condoms or be abstinent. Unless you're in a know, relationship, you and the husband, y'all love each other and not cheating and all that. That's the only way to be safe. That's the only way to be safe. A lot of people, and I could tell here, like these some people don't, it's like they don't care, especially younger people. My phone's not turned down. These young people, they don't care and they're not paying attention until they get that disease. They get that disease, they'll see it's not fun. It's no joke, for real. I just keeping me because I don't get sick. But you can get sick and you got to worry about your CD4, your viral load. You got to worry about all of that stuff. Some pills every day for the rest of your life. That's why I play stigmatized. It's to teach people. It's funny. It's funny. It has funny parts. The characters are funny, but it teaches people like this is what can happen to you. You to them are not even thinking because the character in that play, she was a young girl and her boyfriend was cheating on her. And the girl he was cheating with told him that she had HIV. But she told him that he was lying. And he told the girlfriend, and she was nervous because he was the first boyfriend and all of that. She ended up not having it. But went through all that motion. When you think you got it and stuff, and people didn't want to be around her. They was in this little meeting, they want to be around, and I was showing people this how people are and the stigma. That's why it's called stigmatized. The stigma.
Mm.
The play talks about stigma and everything, like sugar diabetes, uh, race, and everything. But it really focused on HIV and AIDS because it's stigma to it. But, a lot of people like I'm not ashamed to tell people what I got. So, but a lot of people are ashamed to tell they got this, and I think if you get it, you need to tell people, and that's a way to educate people because it affects everybody different. Some people don't be as blessed as I am, and it's catch colds and pneumonia, and I have not caught any of that.
Mm.
But again, I think my daughter said I had pneumonia. I had dementia too, so I couldn't remember anything. I couldn't remember anything. Any tie my shoes, I didn't know how to do nothing. My daughter said to do everything for me. And they said I had pneumonia then. I don't even remember that. They said I was in the hospital for about a week, but I don't even remember.
So you speak about the stigma of it.
Hmm.
Um, do you think that people who have contracted it or gotten it from someone, and they're getting treated, they're getting their effective treatment, whatever those treatments are, do you think people are reluctant to say that they have this? Are they reluctant to say,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm HIV positive or
Hmm.
I have AIDS or whatever the case may be? Are we
Hmm.
reluctant to speak about it?
Yeah, yeah. I know some people who hadn't even told their children, hadn't even told their parents that they had it. a guy who told me that, a couple of guys, and I was like, that's not right. I would tell her it's not right. You can't. That's something you got to tell your partner. I think you should tell your family members. My aunts, uncles, cousin, all of them know what I got because I told them all. It took me a while to be able to come out and tell people this is what I got because it's the stigma. The stigma makes you not want to say anything. So that's probably why a lot of people don't talk about it because some people's family turn against them. And they tell them they got that disease and they don't want to come around and stuff and treat them real bad. I just had to bless my family. They didn't do that to me. None of them. They and all of them know. My nieces and nephews, all of them know because I told them what I got because I don't want them going out and getting it. So I'm telling them, don't do what I did. Don't make no mistake like that and get food like I did. I really got food for real. I think the guy knew that he had it. Now I'm older and I'm much wiser and I'm still celibate. So I became celibate again. But I want to share this too because I got another interview coming up, and I said I got to know a gospel song that I like. The gospel song that I really like is this song about Donna Lawrence and Leandra Johnson. Because when I moved back to Louisville, Kentucky, I got depressed again. And it wasn't a disease. I got depressed because then I moved from the suburbs in California, and I had a vehicle, and I had to give away a lot of stuff in order to move back to Louisville. And I didn't have to move back to Louisville. I came back because I was dying of disease. The state said I had to send the grandkids back to their mother, which is my daughter. And I wanted to see my grandkids go to school. I wanted to make sure they was going to school. I wanted to make sure they was taken care of properly. So that's why I came back, and I want to see all of them graduate and all that. So that's why I came back. But I was so depressed, and I was back Louisville for. I moved back in 2014. Moved back in 2014, and I just moved away to Atlanta October, past October. But my celibacy. Louisville because I was depressed and again I was going in this same little thing when I got the disease. It's going back to that same thing, the same type of gas and everything. But I didn't realize it until I listened to that song. I listened to that song, and when she said, "All I do is hurt me," I just fell to my knees and cried. So God, I was sorry. And then when I tell people that it tripped me out, but it's the honest to God truth, and I celibate. I said, no, I'm not doing this again because I know still, even though I got HIV, it's undetectable, but I still can get other stuff. There's herpes, there's other diseases, and I don't want to get nothing. I won't get nothing else. So I said, no, my life and my health is better. And then I realized what I was doing was dating my past again. I was dating the guys that raped me. I was dating the guy, husband who beat me and all that. I've been through a whole lot. I don't want to go through that again. And I had told my family and everything about it. And I told them, I said I was depressed. I just didn't tell anybody. I kept it to myself, but I was really depressed because I hated being back in Louisville. I really did. And it
Is
goes to
there?
sorry.
Well, you contracted it from a minister, right? You contracted it
Yeah.
from a pastor, right? That you were, I guess, seeing or whatever.
He was a minister of music.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was a minister of music, and that's where I got it from.
And he wooed you, huh? Did he
Sure
woo? Did
did.
he woo you? He
Sure
wooed you, huh?
did. Yeah, real strong. He sure did. I'm telling you, he would call me on my lunch break when I was at work. He would send me flowers. He would he would call me love. He had me a little pet name, and he did. And he waited about almost a year, and that's when he said we got to meet in person. I was okay with the long distance thing, and he's like, we got to meet in person. He said, I love you. I want to marry you. He was saying all that, and none of that was true. None of that was true.
Well, you know why he was saying that.
Yeah, but he was a minister, so but now I know
he
it don't
was a
matter.
he was
So,
a he was a man too, right? He was
yeah,
a man, right?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. That's what
You're
I'm
right
saying.
about
He's
that.
telling you all that. He
Hmm.
trying to. You know what was. You knew
Yeah,
what was going on.
yeah.
You knew what was going on. But
I'm telling you, I was so naive. I was really naive because I told him I was celibate and I didn't want to have sex. That's why he was telling me I'm gonna marry you. I never thought. That's why he was saying, I'm gonna marry you. And when we met, engagement ring. He was gonna marry me, get on his knees and propose and nothing. And he did show me a good time. He did. I'm gonna go. Like he took me to the jazz restaurant, and I it was nice food. He showed me a good time. Took me to the zoo and took pictures and stuff. We had a good time, and it was just like after he said, he said, when you go home, start getting your stuff in order. He said, because I want you to move, because he's in Atlanta. He said, I want you to move to Atlanta with me, and we're gonna get married. I got home. I didn't even think about him though. I didn't think about him once. Because I felt guilty. So he called me like I never called him or anything. And then he said, I'm gonna call you when I think you home. Once he didn't do that, I knew he just used me. I knew it. I got to continue for God. I ain't got time to be thinking about it. And a few weeks later, my throat started hurting real bad. So started getting cough drops and cough drops. Then one of my friends called me and she said, he was praying and she said, God told me to take you to Pastor Donnie McClurkin's church. That's in New York. So she bought me a trip ticket and everything. To New York. I'm thinking I started getting sick. And I had HIV, but didn't even know it. And I was getting sick. And the day when we got there, I couldn't get out of bed. I was so sick. And I didn't know what. I thought I had sinus, and I thought it was going from Louisville, Kentucky to another state. I was doing everything. Years later, that's why I figured it out. I thought I lived on HIV. That ain't no joke for real, because it mimic everything. That's why the doctors thought I had like lupus, and they were saying something wrong with your blood. Yeah, something was wrong with it. Something was wrong with it. I already had HIV in it, but they never ever checked that until I went to that lady doctor. They never checked, and that should have been the first thing they checked. They checked that, and you got kidney disease and all that.
So they never,
Disease, no joke.
they never, they never, they never tried to test for that. Like all the times you went to the doctor, they never thought about running those tests at all.
No.
Because
Because when I went to the lady doctor, it never told me.
how long after you got gamed by the pastor, how long after that did you find out that you had it? How long after your rendezvous with the pastor? How many?
10 years. 10 years of celibacy.
That long.
I found out I was celibate for 10 years. Yeah. That's what made it so devastating to me. Because I had been celibate for 10 years. I didn't know it stayed in your body for 10 years. Uneducated about it, but it stays in your you can stay in your body for up to 10 years and you have no symptoms. I had symptoms, but not real bad symptoms. It could be stuff like 1 year my stomach was hurting real bad while I couldn't hardly walk. That's when I lived in LA County, and I couldn't walk. We had to call an ambulance, and thought it was kidney disease. They never checked for HIV. They thought it was kidney disease, so that's what I was thinking. I had told my daughter one day, I said, although I wasn't having sex, I had told my daughter, I said, for some reason, and I didn't know the symptoms of HIV. I said, for some reason, I got a feeling I got HIV. I told her that. Years later, I found out that's what I had.
Wow.
They
And you
won't.
say he knew, right? You said
Yeah,
he knew.
knew. Yeah, he
He
knew.
knew he had it.
He knew what he was doing.
Wow.
Yeah. He lives here. I had to forgive him. We're not friends. He tell me happy birthday and stuff, and but we're not friends. He lives here, and I've been trying to hide the fact that I live in Atlanta, but people figured it out because I joined some ministries and stuff up here, and so we teachers and they got Facebook page for this ministry. We went down to like the Battery. And the Battery is downtown, and like where the Atlanta Braves stadium is. It's nice too, and that's where we took pictures there. So that's people like, ain't that in Atlanta? So I went ahead and said, because I didn't want him to know I was here. It's none of his business. But he knows now, but I don't care. I'm cordial to him, but we're not friends. I'm not gonna be his friend. I think it's kind of
So
bothering him.
So
I don't
you
talk to him.
actually run into this guy? Do you run into him in your
Mm-mm,
circles? Do you? Oh, okay.
mm-mm,
Okay.
mm-mm. We're friends on Facebook.
Mm. So when it first happened, I know you had to be pissed. You had to be pissed with this
Yeah,
dude when it first happened.
yeah. I was never ever gonna talk to him. Never. But as a child of God, a woman of God, have to forgive him. So, but it took a while, and when I forgave him, I didn't forgive myself, and that's what I had to do in order for me to heal and keep going. I had to forgive myself, and I ended up forgiving myself. But I forgave him, and I'm not mad at him, because I'm alive. I don't have to be his friend, so he know what he did. He know what he did, and I hint to it sometimes. So I tell people what I got. I talk about it. I don't say no names. I don't say his name and all that. I ain't gonna do that to him. But God knows his name. So he's karma. It ain't got him. He will. So, I got to live my life. I got to live my life, and there's things I want to do. I want to write a movie. I want to win an Oscar. There's things I want to do. So I want to write movies and stuff.
Yeah, well, you seem in good spirits. You seem healthy. The last time we spoke, you were talking about the play you wrote. You said you've written 3 movies since then. So what else have you been up to all these years? This 7 years absence that we haven't been speaking. What you been up to?
Well, most of them years I was in Louisville, Kentucky, depressed.
Mm,
Now I'm still writing. I write poetry a lot. So I write poems and I post them on Facebook and stuff to bless people. I do that a lot. I don't do it all the time. When I feel it, you know. Some days it's poems I wrote like in 2002, and that's what shocks people. But I've been holding on to them all these years, so I decided to just start sharing the poems with people. So I did that. Like now, I told you I'm in these ministries. I'm in 2 organizations. One is called Spark. It's with these a foundation. So I'm in that. It's doctors and everything in that one. Uh, like young black doctors too. They're an inspiration to me. And, give me that mindset to keep on going and keep on pushing it because I'm a black woman. It's hard for a black woman to uh, get somewhere, especially in the entertainment industry. They'll try to use you. I already
yeah.
know that now. Try to use you because you're a woman. But I want to learn how to produce and direct. So that's what I really want to do because I want to have my own company. I don't want to work up under somebody. I want to have my own company. But I'm right now. I'm looking to work. I tell you, I'm gonna put it out in the atmosphere. I want to work with Tyler Perry. I had a dream about Tyler Perry when I was sick. He was training me to produce and direct. I'll never forget
Mhm.
that dream. So and I tell people I'm chasing after my dream. I reached out and everything. I done called the company and everything. I done sent my resume about 10 times. Told my
Uh, did
testimony.
you did you move Lady Lawler just to be closer to Tyler Perry?
To work with him. Not to be close to him now.
did you did you move just to catch up
It's
with
business.
Tyler Perry?
Yeah. Uh,
Well,
this has been
I'm pretty sure
but
you
not
have some
just
things in
him.
the works, right? You have some
Uh,
things in the works now, right? That you're working on right now that you want to. Do you have things that you've put to him or put to his people, I should say?
no, I just to his people, not just shared moves that I've written.
Hmm.
And I'm sort of a small publishing company. I'm have to tell you the reason I don't talk about this small publishing company because people be like, "Can you do my book?" It's not like something I'm like, "Ooh, I want to do it." It's something I know how to do. So it was like a hobby. I would do it like for my nieces, my granddaughter, and I would do books for them. Excuse me, I would do the books for them and stuff. Uh, I'm doing working on a book for this minister right now. I need to finish that. So that's what I'm working on now. So it's taking a long time because she wrote all her stuff. So it means I have to type it all in. And I told her, I said, that's not how you're supposed to do it. You send it to a real publishing company, going to put it in the trash. They want you to type your stuff. She don't know how to uses a computer. She's an older lady. I got to finish her book. A lot of stuff had been going on, family wise, kind of pushed me backwards a little bit. So, but I got to be strong and keep on moving and do what I got to do. But I'm trying to finish her book right now, and I'm trying to work some little part-time jobs to get some money in since I'm here in Atlanta. I'm meeting people here too. I done met some pastor. He started uh, like a group. It's called Atlanta Dimensional Women's. It's like a ministry though. We meet once a month on Zoom. We went. That's how the Battery. That's where we all met down there, and we had a photo shoot and stuff. So I'm meeting people here, and that's a good thing. I'm meeting people, and Christian people, and women, black women, with good education, good head on their shoulder. I want to write movies, and I'm working on some stuff. I have to figure out where I'm gonna send it to. So that's the only thing. You got to be careful who you send these things to. And like people like Tyler Perry and these other production companies, they don't take up place because they have their own stuff. So they ain't gonna take if I send them something I've written. They're not gonna take it. They'll throw it away. They ain't gonna take it. So you have to have experience. I have the experience. So and that's what I'm going back. But that's not the only. It's more production companies here. That's Tyler Perry. That's the reason why. Because I know it's production companies here, and it's everything that I do. I write poetry and I write gospel songs, and it's everything that I do here, and I write books and stuff. So everything here for Black people, and that's why I came. I'm not gonna die here. This is not why I want to stay for the rest of my life. It's just for me to stay here for a couple of years. It's up under my learning how to produce and direct. That's what I want to do. Learn how to do that so I can have my own where I can help people. So I want to help people. That's my thing. Like I want to start something for kids to age out of foster care and stuff, like a transitional house. So I'm gonna do that. But see, here everything, the HIV and AIDS is high here. The
Yes.
sex trafficking is high here. That's what they do to the kids that age out of foster care. Get them kids, they sleep on the viaducts and stuff, and they take them and they sex traffic them. Kids get pregnant, get on drugs. I want to help them as many as I can, and I want to have a program for them, like a transitional house. When they turn 18, they put them, foster parents, they ain't getting their money no more. So they put them out in the streets and stuff. So I want to be able to help it. That's my focus now. That.
So what would you tell people who not just people who've already who've contracted HIV or AIDS? What would you tell young folks now, far as preventing getting it in the first place? What would be your message to those people?
If they can't do that, because young people think they can't do it, you have to protect yourself. There's condoms is you have to do. You have to protect yourself. And it's not even HIV or AIDS now, because like herpes is beginning to be something that's high in blacks really. And so, it's staying for real. There's just too many diseases, hepatitis, there's too many diseases. Obviously, young people are catching it more like, I think young people and older people are catching it, because when I started dating, I was dating this guy. He was 67, 68 or something. This guy was sitting up here having sex with all kind of people with no condom on. I had to leave him alone. I was telling him, I was like, you got to be careful. I said, because I said, you got to wear a condom with me. He got mad. That man now, that old, he gonna get mad and want to argue. What you telling me I gotta wear a condom for? Because you gonna give me something. That's why I'm telling you. Because although I got HIV, it's the other stuff you can get. And I don't want nothing else. I do not, because I might hurt somebody if I get something else. So I don't want nothing else. I just rather not do anything. I'm not doing anything. I have no desire to do anything. I was telling this guy the other day, because he lives here, this guy, but he got HIV. I met him for got insights for people that got the disease. And I met him, but we never messed around or anything. We just used to talk. And when he found out I lived there, he said, "Why didn't you tell me you lived in Atlanta?" He said, "You live in Atlanta?" And I said, "Yeah." And he asked me what, and I told him. And he said, "Why you didn't tell me that?" And I was saying to myself, because I know he wants sex. I knew that's what he wanted. And I don't want to do anything with him. I end up telling him. At first, I didn't know what to say. I end up telling him. I said, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm celibate. No, I'm not doing anything. Because it's herpes and other stuff you got to worry about. With my luck, I've been getting something else, and I'm not going to. So I want to live as long as God let me live. And you keep messing with different people, you're going to get something. You're going to get something. And that's why I tell my granddaughters. I got one grandson. He's 18, 19 now, and he's still a virgin. Thank God. He really, because he's a little nervous. It was so good to be a nerd sometimes. So he works Microsoft. He works on computers and stuff, and he plays games all the time. He ain't thinking about no girl. And I got granddaughters. Girls hot. And that's why I be telling them, like, you got to be careful because you can catch something. It's other stuff you can catch, hepatitis and all that. So there's something about
So,
young people.
well, let me ask you this because I'm not sure. I'm not familiar.
Mm-hmm.
If a person is HIV positive,
Mm-hmm.
they shouldn't even be having sex with people, right? They're definitely not having sex unprotected, but they shouldn't be having it at all, right? Or
If,
no?
if you're undetectable, you can. Some people ain't undetectable, and that's how people are getting a disease. Like the guy, he wasn't undetectable, and he knew he wasn't undetectable. He gave it to me. That's how you give it to people. You it's still in your uh, system. You ain't took no medicine. If you take that medicine it suppresses it. So it don't show in your blood. Like if I go get tested, it won't show that I got it. Because they know I got it. So that's how they know that you're undetectable. See, I've been undetectable since 2014. I've been
Okay.
undetectable for a while. Yeah. After they said I had AIDS in 2013, the doctor was shocked. I don't know if I told you that. Had the doctor was shocked when I went to the doctor and I walked in there because I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. Walked in the doctor's office. He had his back turned. He turned around and looked. He was shocked. His eyes bugged out his head like a cartoon. He was shocked and he turned around and looked at something on the computer. He said, "I'll be right back." He told me and my daughter. He came back with the caseworker, nurse, some other people working, about 10 people, because I be AIDS. They were shocked. They said, what happened to me was very rare. And one of the nurses came to me and hugged me and said, my brother had AIDS and he died. She cried and she hugged me. She said, "You're not even supposed to be alive. What happened to me is not gonna happen to everybody else." And that's why I tell my daughter that too. So, and, it had to be God because it's everywhere that you live. It's not that a lot of people don't live because my numbers were bad. My viral load was supposed to be 0. It was like a million and something. It's really bad. And my CD4, that's your immune system, was 21, and it's supposed to be over 200. So it was death. I was knocking at death's door, but she told me I had AIDS. I probably had AIDS for a while, but I didn't know it because I wasn't going to the doctor. It's just I had that seizure, and then have that seizure, I would have died at home. But I had that seizure, and that's how they found out. Uh, but if I hadn't went, I would have died. And everything just started. Once I went to the doctor, it started happening quick. Like I started walking again and everything. But
Wow.
then the people
So,
thinking I was like that for years. I know I was like that for like a month, like 6 weeks or something. I just started
so,
getting better all of a sudden.
so you was just going on with your life, like like
Yeah,
nothing was happening. You were
yeah,
still doing everything and writing
yeah,
and
yeah.
doing all of that, and you had no idea you had
I had
AIDS
no
all that
idea.
time.
Uh-uh. I had no idea.
Wow.
I used to
And
go in I had a walk-in closet. I went in the closet and had a dresser in there, and I went in the closet and I was looking for something. And when I woke up on the floor, And that's when I realized I was passing out. I was hearing ringing in my ear, and I would pass out sometimes. It was because I had AIDS, but I didn't know. I didn't know I had a stroke. That seizure. When I had that seizure, that's how we really found out what was going on. I had no clue. I knew when I was taking that medicine, I was gonna get sick and die. That's why I didn't take it, because I wanted to die. That's why I didn't take the medicine. My daughters couldn't force me to take it, so they would beg me to take it, and they would beg me to make it. They was going to college and stuff and working and stuff, and they would call and say, "Mama, did you I'm making an appointment?" I said, "No, I'll do it tomorrow." I always keep it out, because I didn't want her for HIV. That's how it ended up turning into AIDS, because I just kept on putting this stuff out. After it turned into AIDS, my daughters they didn't take no and excuses anymore. They made sure they sit in. My oldest daughter was sitting in the room and made sure I took the medicine. She would give it to me and everything. And they did that for like 6 weeks. And then I started doing, I had to cocktails and cocktails. When I'm like in pills, big old pills. I don't take cocktail medicine now. Those cocktails at first, and I hated that. I hated it because they big pills, they were hard to swallow and everything. She would sit there and watch me take those pills, because they knew I wouldn't take them if they didn't watch me. But they had to monitor me a lot. We had baby monitor in the room because of the dementia. I'll get up out of the bed, uh, walk around middle of the night, hide stuff. Because I had dementia, my mind is like not normal. I couldn't write. And that's why the doctor said if I got better, I was never gonna be the same, and I would never be able to write again. But I do write. I wrote a book for that, so I do write. I wrote a play, and I'm writing now. So I still write. I write poetry a lot. So I still write, and I write gospel songs and stuff.
So, how are you now physically? Because you said at one time it had you so you was in a wheelchair. So how are you now physically? Are you can you get around? Can you do
Yeah. Well,
what you do?
yeah, yeah, like normal. I gained weight. I gained some weight now. I was 98 pounds. So I didn't gain weight. So I done put on weight. I don't look sick. I looked sick at first in 2014. I looked sick. Even when I went back to Louisville and stuff, people could tell something was wrong with me because I was real thin. I didn't gain weight and everything.
So everything has gone well. You say you're undetectable, right?
Yeah.
So that means health wise you're good,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you have flare ups? Do you have, does it come back on you sometime and make you feel weak or make you feel anything?
Uh-uh. Nope.
Okay. Okay.
As long
So
as I take my medicine, okay.
so you truly beat this thing. You're one of the few people who actually beat the
Yeah.
whole HIV AIDS thing. You beat it
Yeah.
like Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
You're in the same club with Magic
Yeah.
Johnson. Now everybody think y'all went off to some foreign land and got
I
these
know.
drugs to
We took the same.
take
I'm
a.
gonna tell you. I tell people, me and him took the same medicine. And that's why I have to tell people all the time, we all take the same medicine. When he had to take cocktails, I had to take cocktails. That's what we call them when you take all them pills. You call them cocktails. When he was on Oprah, he said he had to take them. That's what made me, because I was like, okay, it made me feel better. Because when I heard him say the exact thing that I was going through, he went through, I was like, okay, so one that people say, he's rich, he went somewhere and got that. No, it didn't happen. Took the medicine. That's what he did. He went and exercised. He ate healthy. He did everything he needed to do because he wanted to live. That's what he did. And that's what you got to do. And you can't lay around and feel sorry for yourself. That's why I felt sorry for myself. When you feel sorry for yourself, what you going to do? You're going to get sick. You feel sorry for yourself, you're going to get sick and you're going to die. You feel sorry for yourself. He came out and told them what they do. They want to touch him or anything. Magic Johnson said, forget that, but now he owns with that movie theater and all this stuff. He get the foundation for people HIV and AIDS and all this stuff that he's helping. It's my goal one day to meet him for real. That's my goal. I'd love to meet him. He did inspire me. He really did. When I seen him, my daughter told me to look at my oldest daughter, and I didn't want to do it. And when I looked at him, he was talking to Oprah, and it made me think like, "Dad, if he did it, I can do it." And I did. Yeah,
So you say you do motivational speaking and things like that.
mhm,
So I'm assuming you travel around and you talk about HIV and AIDS, right?
God,
Um,
yep.
how do people receive that? Because we've kind of forgotten about AIDS. I mean, I haven't heard anybody talk about AIDS in a while.
Mhm,
Um, how do people receive that when you come? Well, I guess everybody who's there already know what subject matter is going to be, but
uh-huh, mhm.
how
They don't
how do
know. Know because when I go speak, they don't know exactly like my testimony and stuff. So when I tell them testimony, I'm telling them I went to places where people that just came up to me and hugged me and said thank you. Because some people have it and some people don't. They'll come. It's like sometimes at churches. So I go to churches and I speak and I spoke at conferences and stuff. And I done got standing ovations because people are like, wow, because they'll see me, and then when I speak, I speak to like I'm talking to my friends. you know, I say some little jokes. I don't do it on purpose. It's just who I am. It's my personality. So, and people like that. I'm not up here crying and say, "Oh, woe is me." I have my days when I'm sad, but it ain't because of the disease. It's because of what's going on around me. So that's why I tell people all the time. I have to tell one of my daughters because when I was depressed, she said, I knew it. You should be in therapy because I know that disease. And I would tell her I don't get depressed about that anymore. I went through that depression before. I don't want to go through that depression again. I went through depression because I don't like Louisville, Kentucky. That's why I went through that depression. I didn't like being there. There's nothing I can do in Louisville. There's nothing I can do. I can write until the cows come home, and I'm going to be noticed for real. I'm and the horse, Derby. Other than that, it's not gonna be noticed. And it's people that write movies in Louisville, but they underground movies. Underground movies, I'm not writing. No, I'm not gonna write those. I don't write. I write movies everybody, the whole family can look at. So
Mm. So you've
yeah,
had some offers and you turned them down. You refused them.
yeah.
You didn't like them. You didn't
I
like
don't.
what they were.
Yeah, what they like it's this guy. He used to live in Atlanta, but I think he lives in somewhere else, Colorado or something. I don't know. Uh, he was doing that like the underground before he started doing that. But ask me all the time, he'll call me, Tawana, I want you to write something for me. And because I like writing so much, I say okay. And I'll write something for him, get it like real quick because I'm fast at it. So I'll get something to him, and then he'll say, uh, months later, he'll come and ask me the same thing again. I do it, but I got so sick and tired of that because he was like, I need you to write me a erotic thing. And I said, I don't write that stuff. And he said, you ain't got to put sex in and all that, but you're writing something erotic. That's what you're writing. That's what it is. So uh, I wrote something and kind of blew his mind. And then he was like, went on Facebook and said, oh, I'm right. He took the credit for it. He said, I going to these erotic movies going to be booked. He said, going to be
Wait,
booked.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up, Lady Lawler. Hold up. Now you a Christian minister and you writing erotic. Are you
They,
a, are you
they
writing
have,
erotic stories as a Christian? Is that what you're telling me?
that's what I told him. That's what I told him. I said, I can't. But he went on. He was begging about it too. I said, I can't write nothing about no sex now. I said, he was like, no, it ain't gonna be about sex. I said, just them being in love, blah, 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 blah. So then I did that. Then he went on uh, Facebook and said he wrote some erotic books. He was going to make them into movies or something. He's saying he took all the credit for it, but it was the stuff that I had wrote. He said the titles and everything, and they wasn't really erotic. It didn't have like sex stuff. It was like the people met, they fell in love, and blah blah blah. It was like love stories, and so he was going to try to make them erotic, but he was going to take what I wrote and his little stuff in it. So that's when I realized he with a fake and a phony. And I said something to him, and then he said, I see what you said, and I ain't gonna do that. I said, don't be using my stuff for stuff like that. And he said, okay. But then, so I ended up forgiving him, and he said he wasn't gonna do it. He asked me to write something else about some girl, crazy girl, or something, or psych or something. I can't remember. I wrote it and never seen the video. Never heard him say anything else about it. And he writing stuff back to back, back to back. I'm telling you, I'm I can brag on myself, but I'm really good and I'm fast. That's why he was asking me. But I'm like, cause we're gonna have to do a non-disclosure. We're gonna do some contracts. You're gonna have to start paying me. He was like, okay. He never did that. That's when I stopped writing stuff for him, and I said, you got to write your own. Because I spoke to him one day on Facebook, and I seen where he read what I wrote him. He didn't reply back, so I told him. I said, "You have me writing all this stuff for you. You have not gave me credit for nothing." I said, "I have not seen nothing on the video. I'm not seen nothing on no YouTube, nothing." That's when he said he was gonna do the underground stuff, and I told him I didn't want to do the underground stuff, and I told him he used me, and so he turns around, blocked him on Facebook. So he goes to Instagram, tell people he's ready to get a contract with Hulu. I knew that was a lie because a guy heard when I first came here, a guy was advertising that he the writer, a guy living in Atlanta. That's what he said. He said he had a contract with Hulu. That was a lie. It was a lie. They say that to try to get me right for them. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna fall for that. The guy here, I'm gonna tell you, don't know him. His name was Jay Mexico. That's his the stage name or whatever. And he was like, I'm gonna have red carpet and some celebrities gonna be at our little premiere and blah 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 blah. And he told me go get the uh trailer. I went and looked at it. He had the writing, you could tell the writing was not good at all. And it was a lady, she looked like she was about 60. Uh she was on the phone talking to somebody and she said, girl, I went to that club last night and I was lit. And I said to myself, now what 60-year-old gonna say that? So I was like, oh, she said, and then she on a mini skirt, belly was hanging over her stuff, and she had a little tube top. I was like, what kind of movie was so? I was like, it was supposed to be like a sitcom or something. So my daughter, she was there when she didn't went back to Louisville, but she was like, Mama, I don't want to go to that thing because she really sense things more quicker than I can. She was like certain stuff. She's like, I don't know. And he kept saying, tell her to come on because she could network and might meet somebody. She can get a job, blah blah blah. We go there, go to the place. For one, it was in a little club, and we don't do clubs, so it was in a little club. And she was like, I don't know. So it's kind of cold outside. So we were standing outside. He said it started at 7 o'clock. We were standing outside 7:15. The door opens for a girl that was in front of us. She was a tall, skinny girl with a little half dressed. And it was kind of cold outside. The girl opened the door and said, come on in. And she went in. Now one person had on a mask. This wasn't too long ago either. That's why not only is the HIV AIDS high, but the coronavirus thing is high too because they don't only wear masks here. So they didn't have one of them masks. And then I said to my daughter, I said, I'm hungry. And I said, are you hungry? And she was so glad I said that. She didn't really want to go in there. So the next day, yeah, we didn't go. We didn't go to his little event. So the next day, the guy, he said, how are you, Tawana, on Facebook? So he sent me a message and I said, fine. I said, how was your thing last night? He said, it's about as good it was gonna be. Something he said like it's smart because I didn't show up. So he was like, um, said something about me not showing up. And I told him, I said, well, for one, we was at the door, and whoever worked in there didn't let us in. They told us we had to wait. It was at 7:15. The thing started at 7 o'clock. He got smart with me. He said, "You think you better than me? You think you better than me?" I said, I was shocked. I was like, why are you getting an attitude with me? I said, because you want me to write for you. I said, so why are you getting an attitude? I said, I don't think I'm better than you. I'm not going to come in no place where y'all ain't got masks on. And I got this chronic disease. That don't make no sense because if I get sick, I'm probably gonna die. So, and I don't want to get coronavirus. So it was like, because he said everybody had to have on mask. Took pictures. Not one person had on a mask. You see a mask in nobody's hand, around the chin. You see no mask. It was girls half dressed, and it was cold outside. And he was sitting like he was a pimp or something with a cigar in his mouth. It was all around him. This is a picture they took. Wanted me to go see it. I was glad I didn't go there. Then I said, let me see if he got something on Hulu. He had no Hulu, just like the other guy. Having no Hulu. He got no Hulu. It's just saying that trying to get you, that's their way trying to get me to write for them, and I'm not going to. I'm not that desperate. I'm just not going to. I'm not writing no erotic stuff. I'm not writing nothing about anything about drugs or none of that. I'm not going to do that. And I don't write
Yeah.
everything about, just like to write movies, really. Just write movies. Just don't write rated R stuff. I just, I like where whole family could look at it.
Yeah, don't be letting them steal the intellectual property, Lady Lawler. Don't be letting them steal the intellectual property.
Yeah.
So I guess now that you're in Atlanta now, pretty soon I'll be seeing some movie that you wrote at Tyler Perry Studios.
Yeah,
Tyler
put that on
Perry
the atmosphere.
Studios or something like that, right? I'm gonna see that, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see that.
You put that out in the atmosphere for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I might even the type of stuff that you write, I probably won't watch, to be honest with you, Lady Lawler. I like to watch people get killed and shot and see things blow up and burn up. So those are the type of movies
I just don't like to write it.
those are the type of movies I like, where people get killed, shot, ate, set on fire. Those are my kind of movies. But I do appreciate you coming to see us tonight. It's been a while. It was good to catch up with you, Lady Lawler. It's been a long time since we spoke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you're doing well. I'm glad that your health has maintained. I'm glad about that as well. And you got to come back, and you definitely got to come back if you get a damn a movie contract. I want the first interview. I want want the first interview, boy. Because if I see you somewhere else, boy, I'm gonna get on that phone and be like, you're supposed to come to T.P.O.T first.
I'm gonna make sure I do that.
Yes, I want the first interview. It was always a pleasure. Like I said, it was good to catch up with you again, Lady Lawler. I wish you all the best. Now that you're in Atlanta, who knows? Who knows? Like I said, I might see one of your productions, being scripted out by Tyler Perry or some of those other big time rich producers out there. And like I said, when that happens, right here. All right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Lady Lawler, and good luck with everything, and come back. All right.
Okay. Thank
you.
All
right. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, everybody. Miss TWANA LAWLER. You can actually Google Lady Lawler and see the books that she wrote, the plays that she's wrote. Yeah, she's done a lot of stuff, man. I haven't spoke to her. I haven't spoke to her in like 7 years. She was on my radio show back when I was in radio. That was before I knew all of you folks. Back when I had my radio show many, many years ago. I interviewed her and someone else that night. I don't even remember the other person. But yeah, she was talking about, AIDS and HIV and how she contracted it. Like she told y'all tonight, she got it from, a minister, who she let slide up in there, after he talked up out of it, and said he was going to marry her and all that kind of stuff, and gave her a ring, just to, get her in the old sack. And, once he got in the sack, she didn't know what was going on because she hadn't dealt with the dude anymore. She didn't find out, man, till years later. that she had AIDS after that, because she said that that was the last guy that she slept with. She didn't sleep with nobody else after that, so she says. And she didn't find out, man, she had AIDS till years and years and years after that, man. So, and like I was telling her, and as the title of this here, Hours of Power, speaks to, I think we've forgotten about things like AIDS. They're still out there. Those things are still out there, man. AIDS and gonorrhea and syphilis and herpes and all that kind of stuff. And, brothers, a lot of women have these things. All right. A lot of women have it. So when you're out there, boy, you got to mind your tool, man. Keep the old tool covered up, boy, because there's a lot of people walking around out there with not just AIDS. There's people walking around there with herpes. Y'all know what the herpes numbers are inside Black society, especially concerning Black women. The cases are prolific. It's prolific. And like down there where she's in Atlanta, man, their AIDS numbers are higher per capita than anywhere else in this country. So if you're down there in Atlanta, you definitely need to be minding your pole down there. All right. You need to be minding your pole. That's all I can say. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna open it up for a few. Still early. So if you wish to come on and opine, y'all know what to do. There's the email. It's proper to thought at yahoo.com. It's proper to thought, one word, no caps, at yahoo.com. If you wish to come through and talk about it or something. Yeah, but like I said, the good doctor is in the house. What's good, Doc Phoenix? Speaking of Doc Phoenix, while I sit here and wait to see if any of you brothers want to come through and talk about this thing. Tomorrow, the good Doc Phoenix will be in the house, and we'll be talking about the jab. Yeah, we'll be talking about the jab. I got my second shot about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks. I got my second COVID shot 2 weeks ago. So we're gonna have the good doctor come in here, man, and then we're gonna talk about it. So make sure you have your black behinds here tomorrow too, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know. All right. All right. So shout out to Doc Phoenix. Oh, someone wants the link. Check your email, brother. Just sent you the link. Check your email. Coming through right now. It's coming through right now. Yeah, but she tells a compelling story, man, and it's crazy because you get with somebody, and come to find out, they done infected you with some, something, it don't necessarily have to be AIDS. It could be gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes, whatever, I mean, I think you could give them some leeway if they say they didn't know. If they truly, honestly didn't know they had it and they gave it to you, that's one thing. But for a person to have something and purposely, like she said, the dude, knew he had it or whatever. That's something different. That's why we always talk about this safe sex thing. It's become a cliche, but in reality, it is not. It is not. I mean, we gotta be more careful, man. We gotta be. Regardless of anything else, man. Because these things are preventable. They are. Sexually transmitted diseases are preventable, man. They are 100% preventable. They
Yeah,
just
you doing,
are.
man?
What's good with it, brother Linnell?
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, man. What's good? What you got for me, man?
First, I want to say her story it's an amazing story. I want to say that, and nothing short of amazing. I looked at the chart that you did. Went to the CDC and pulled up the chart that you showed at the beginning of the show, and these rates are very alarming. You were right into name the show. Didn't forget about HIV/AIDS. These rates are amongst us are very alarming.
Yes, they are.
It says 42% new HIV diagnosis in U.S. independent areas by race and ethnicity. We make up 12 or 13% of the population, but we are 42% of the cases. That's very alarming.
Yes, very.
And that's just HIV/AIDS. I looked at some of the other STDs. They say chlamydia up 19% since 2015. Gonorrhea up 56% since 2015. Syphilis up 74% since 2015. Congenital syphilis up 279% since 2015. That is called that. Wow. That would make you celebrate right there.
Yeah, and it's almost as if we don't care about it, brother Linnell. It's almost as if we've completely forgotten about this because we've gotten so wrapped up, in other things. We've gotten so wrapped up in other, I don't know, other situations, other thoughts. I don't know. We've gotten so wrapped up in it, that we've actually forgotten about, AIDS and STDs, herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia. We've completely forgotten. We've forgotten about these things as if we don't have to think about them anymore.
Right. As if they don't exist.
Yeah. We don't have to think about them anymore, and it says a lot, man. The STD numbers and the HIV numbers, it says a lot about the promiscuity. Okay, it speaks to the promiscuity, and it also speaks to the lack of protection. It speaks to those two things. If you got so many black folks walking around, with these STDs, that means that a lot of these black folks ain't using no protection. And shit,
Right.
a lot of these black folks are probably laying down with the same folks too. So,
right. And just because two people have, let's say, syphilis, doesn't mean it's okay for them to have sex. No, they can have two different strains of the same disease, so they reinfecting each other. That's these rates are extremely high.
Yeah, but let people tell it. Let people tell it, man. It's nothing. It's nothing. And we live in a world now where, sex is like this thing. Like it's this. This is the ultimate thing. And I can say this to brothers, man. If you're gonna be out there, man, and you're gonna be laying down with the multiple chicks and all that kind of stuff, man, you need to be protecting yourself. Because, boy, it's so much crap out there, boy, that's waiting to jump on you and in you. I mean, you need to be protecting yourself, especially if you with multiple people, because let's be honest here. We just had a lady on here who had AIDS for years and didn't even know it. All right. So how hard would it be for a chick that you seeing to have something and not know it? Or on the other side of that, have it and make sure your ass don't know it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, brothers got to be protecting themselves, man, big time in 2021. Big time.
Yeah, it's almost to the point where you start a relationship with a woman, y'all got to get tested.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, and with you show her these numbers, and she quick, and if she's or the person, and it can be a woman to a man, man to a woman, and they're like, oh, it don't affect me. That's a red flag right there. Like, no, this is your life. You talk about it. You talk about it don't affect you. No,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I just want to come on and say that I did not know about these numbers, and I was interested, and I saw that you had the show, you know, set to come on. I wanted to take a look, and I saw the chart that you posted in the beginning, and I went on, saw the numbers, and I saw the numbers for the other STDs, and wow, it's just wow.
It is, man. It's like as if we as black people don't have enough stuff, to be thinking about and be concerned with and worried about and everything else, man. This here is preventable, man. This is preventable. You can keep this from happening to you. You can. You can keep this from happening to you. You can. Now, I'm not getting down on the people who, they have it. They may have HIV or AIDS or whatever they call it, and they might have caught it under nefarious circumstances, like Pastor Lawler did. I'm not jumping on y'all, but the truth is that this is preventable. You can keep this from happening. You can, brothers. You can keep this from happening to you, man. All right, you can. It's as simple as that. There's no more that can be said. This is totally preventable. All you got to do is mind your stick, keep it covered, and the first date that you have with a woman, y'all might want to go to the clinic. That's maybe y'all first date, to go to the clinic to make sure she don't got nothing.
Man, because I tell you, you do that now, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, you would be glad you did it, because you still living that long life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but hey, thanks. I appreciate you. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, Brother Linnell. Anytime, my brother. Anytime.
Oh, you have a good one.
Peace.
Have a good night.
Yeah. And Brother Linnell is right. Those numbers, man. And I was just looking at the AIDS numbers. I didn't even show y'all I didn't show y'all the other STD numbers, the herpes, syphilis, chlamydia, like Brother Linnell was talking about. I didn't even show y'all none of that. I mean, it's bad. Boy, I'm telling you, it's rough out there, folks. It's rough out there. It's rough. So I just hope you brothers out there protecting yourselves. Boy, I hope you're out there protecting yourselves, brothers. Because, boy, it's a rough, rough world out there. Yes. It's a rough world out there, brothers. Because, like I said, I didn't even show y'all the other stuff because we was talking about HIV and AIDS, but I had another sheet, man, with all kinds of the herpes, gonorrhea, syphilis. What else? I think I saw the one on chlamydia that Brother Linnell was talking about. What's the other one? Genital herpes. And like he said, there's a couple different strains of syphilis. So look, man, I will say this again. If you're out there and you're slanging it all over the place, boy, you better be slanging it protected. That's all I can say. Because, man, I mean, these diseases are just like bullets, man. They don't got no name on them, boy. And I'm telling you. And the way women can be today, was sleeping with multiple dudes, got multiple babies by multiple dudes, and sleeping with multiple dudes. And man, these women ain't caring about any of that, man. They're not caring about their sexual health, man. So you know what you got to do? You got to care about yours, because they ain't caring about theirs. So that means you got to care about yours. I'm just saying, man, you got to. You got to. I mean, you know, brothers, you know, they laugh and joke at us old married Negroes, but see, us old married Negroes, we don't have this concern. Yeah, we don't have this concern. This concern we don't have. Yeah, we don't have this concern. We don't, you know, we just don't. So, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And we don't have this concern. We don't have to, you know, look at our penis in the morning to make sure it ain't dripping or leaking. You know, we don't have to, you know, we ain't got yeah, Brother Deshaun, we do. People do talk about that, but I mean, and I don't have a problem with that. You know, brothers can do what they want. I just want brothers to be safe out there, because the information that I saw today, man, you know, the shit I saw today, I was like, man, this is insane. Yeah, you know, brothers, do what you want. All right, do what you want, but God damn it, keep yourself safe, boy. I'm telling you, because we heard Lady Lawler tonight. She beat it. All right, she's undetectable. But see, this is the thing, brothers. It doesn't affect everybody the same way. You get that shit may kill you. Because I know a few people that I grew up with, man, that died from HIV and AIDS. I know a couple people too who died. And they died young too. They died in like their mid-late 30s from AIDS. So, I mean, doesn't affect everybody. Don't think you're going to get it and go off and get the Magic Johnson cocktail and you're going to be like Magic Johnson. It's not necessarily the case, man. Because a lot of people who catch it, man, not only do they catch the disease, they catch hell throughout those years and eventually die. Like I said, I know 2 of them who did. All right? 2 of them. So, I mean, you got to be careful out there, man, because, you know, we get up here and we talk about how these women are. And, hey, you know, knowing how these women are, knowing that they have multiple partners, knowing that, you know, a lot of them cannot be trusted. You have to put your sexual health, man, in your own hands, man. You have to put it in your own hands, brothers. You know, don't leave it up to her. You know, don't leave it up to her to freaking protect you from anything. You have to protect yourself. Don't leave it up to her to protect you. You know, don't. Do not. Do not. Do not do it. Say, protect yourself. Just like with anything else, man. You don't leave it to nobody else, man, to look out for you. All right? Because I'll say this for a 5th time. This is preventable. This is avoidable. So don't be going into these things just assuming, she doesn't have anything because she don't look like she got anything. I don't think a person can look like they have some unless they, you know, had that shit for a while, you know. Shit. She just got off of here. Lady Lawler just got off of here, says she had it for years and didn't even know it. She was going about her life, writing books and writing plays and movies and doing all this kind of stuff, not even knowing. She said until she had that seizure and she went to the hospital, and that's when they found out she had it. So it ain't all about what a person looks like, man. You know? So pretty soon they're going to have these little kits that you can walk around with. They had these little kits that be in a little box like this. And you meet a girl and be like, hold up, girl. Let me swab you. Let me swab the inside of your mouth right quick. You put that shit in there. Do-do-do-do-do. She's good. Okay. Let's continue talking. Yeah, man. You brothers got to be careful out there, man. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful, man. Do your thing. Live your life. Enjoy yourself. But be careful. Protect yourself too, man. You know? Live your life. Enjoy yourself, man. But protect yourself so you can be around. All right? So you can be around for a while. You know? So you can be around for a while, man, and enjoy your latter years, man. Told you, man. I know 2 people, man, who died of AIDS, man, and they died. One of them was 38, and the other one, I think it was 36. So these are relatively young people. You know, you don't want to be one of those people, man, dying from something that was totally preventable. And it's not just AIDS, man. I mean, I say again, you got herpes, gonorrhea. I mean, things like gonorrhea and syphilis can kill you if you let them go untreated long enough. And not only can they kill you if you let them go untreated long enough, they can make you sterile. They can mess with your fertility. All of that's on the table when you get one of these things. All right? All of that is on the table. It's not like, you just go and, you get it cured and then that's it. Those shits have long-term effect on you, man. Shit. Syphilis can attack your brain and shit. Shit, syphilis killed Al Capone. If I remember correctly, right? Yeah. Syphilis killed Al Capone. So, I mean, if you think you got something and you done picked something up from one of these hoes, get your ass to the doctor, number one. All right? Get your ass to the doctor and find out what it is and get it treated. Then after you do that, make sure it never happens again. Make sure it never happens again, man. Because I would hate to hear about one of you brothers, man, that got sick or died or got something wrong with you because you had some bullshit that you done caught from one of these hoes and didn't know you had it. Didn't know you had it, and now you're messed up. Now you're sterile. Now you're whatever, or doesn't have to be that way, man. It doesn't. All we got to do is be a little mindful, man. That's it. All we got to do is be a little mindful about how we operate, and we'll be fine. Just be a little mindful how you operate, man. Shit. Be mindful how you operate, man. Because your life is literally on the line, man. Some of these things can kill you, brothers. Some of these things can literally kill you dead. Why take that chance, man? Why take that chance? I don't think no piece of rump is worth all that. No piece of rump is worth that, man. No piece of rump is worth your life, brother. Trust me. You're way more valuable than that piece of ass. You just are. And if you ain't to yourself, you are to me. All right? You're more valuable than that. If no one's ever told you before, I'm telling you now. You are more valuable than that piece of ass. You are. So with that in mind, protect yourself. Protect yourself. That's all. That's all. It's not hard, man. Brother Terrence in the house. He said, gotta go to the doctor. Yep. And that's something else, man, because we're going to wrap up soon. I don't think nobody else is coming up. That's something else, man. Now, I know my ass just started going to the doctor regularly within the last couple of years, so I shouldn't be up here telling y'all shit. But being that I have been doing it the last couple of years, I will give y'all this public service announcement. Brothers, get your ass to the doctor and get a checkup, man. Get your ass to the doctor and get a checkup. I know as men, we don't like to go to the doctor, we don't trust doctors and all that kind of shit, because guilty is charged with me. All right? Guilty is charged with me. Now, the last couple of years, I have been going regularly, because I'm an old Negro, so I know I need to have my ass up in there. But, I mean, this is for everybody, man. Go get a checkup. Go get a physical, man. Get yourself checked out, man. Get some blood work done. Get a colonoscopy. That kind of stuff, man. I'm telling you, man. Do it. Do it. You'll be glad that you did it. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I mean, a lot of times, man, a lot of brothers, we end up dying from some BS because we didn't know we had it. We didn't know we had it. And the reason why we didn't know we had it, because our ass ain't never been to the doctor. We ain't been to the doctor since we was a damn teenager and we broke our hand or some shit like that. Or broke your foot or some shit like that, Ain't been since. And I'm telling you, we need to start going to the doctor. That's just the truth, man. That's just the truth. Get yourself checked out. Get some blood work done. Just get a physical to make sure you are right, because if something is wrong with you, guess what? If you're going to the doctor regularly, they're more likely to catch it, man. So you don't live years and years and years and years with something and it gets so goddamn bad now that they can't do nothing for it. That's what I'm talking about. Because you won't know you have it if your ass ain't never been to the doctor. You ain't been to the doctor in 10 goddamn years. You might got something wrong with you, man, that you've had for 10 years. And you'll never know it because you haven't been to see your physician. You mess around, man, with something, man, that probably could have been preventable, something that could have been removed from your body, something that could have been cured. Because see, one thing about time doesn't make these things go away. What time does is cause these things to fester, brothers. They fester. And there's no need of brothers dying from preventable shit. That's just crazy. One thing, you get something that you can't prevent it, there's nothing you can do. But dying from preventable shit is stupid. Yeah, that's just stupid. And I don't want brothers dying from preventable shit. I want brothers to get into that goddamn doctor's office. Get that fucking checkup. Because if there's something wrong with you, the doctor will be able to find it and more than likely be able to treat it because they catch it before you have it for 7 years. That's what I'm talking about. And probably tomorrow, I'm not going to get too much into it now because I'm about to go ahead and go out on my damn deck and smoke a cigar and drink me a beer. But the bottom line is this, man. We as men, we usually focus on our mental health. We want to be in the right state of mind. We want to know what's good. We want to know what's bad. We want to know what to do, what not to do. But I think oftentimes, man, we totally disregard, man, our physical health. While we're trying to stay focused, we totally disregard our physical health. We totally do. Won't go to the doctor until we damn near dead. We got to be damn near dead. You damn near dead, then you'll drag yourself in there. But other than that, as long as we feel all right, and we can get out the bed every morning and take a shower and do all that kind of shit and go on off and work and up. I ain't thinking about going to no damn physician's office. We got to be damn near dead before we make our way to that goddamn primary care center or that clinic or that hospital or that whatever. Yeah. Usually when we go to the hospital, we being drugged in there, rolled in there. Ain't that often that we walk in there. Because shit, long as we walking, we fine. As long as we can walk, we think we're fine. As long as we can put one foot in front of the other, shit, we good. No matter what's hurting. all kinds of shit can be hurt. And guess what? If we can walk, we're not pressed about it at all. I can still walk. Everything hurts on my body, but I can still walk. We have to, I know I'm making light of it, man, but we have to stop doing that, brothers. We have to stop doing it. We do, man. I'm telling you. Because I'm pretty sure, boy, a lot of us die unnecessarily from some preventable fucking disease. Some preventable illness. And even if it's not preventable, it's something that could have been treated. Something treatable. And we go right ahead and die from the shit. Because we ain't been to the doctor in 99 years. Because we ain't been to the doctor in 99 years. And we got to stop it, man. We have to stop it, brothers, you know. But I ain't going to lecture y'all too much more because, like I said, tomorrow I got the good Doc Phoenix coming in the house. And we're going to talk a little bit about this. You know, we're going to talk about the vaccine and COVID and stuff like that, too. But, you know, we're going to talk about this a little bit, man. And we're going to talk about our lack of, you know, going to the doctor as men, getting checkups and, you know, being sick and still won't go and, you know, getting dragged in there as opposed to walking in, because that's the only way we'll go. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow as well. So make sure you're here tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page. You Negroes know. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap it up. I appreciate everybody, man, for hanging out with us tonight, man. Always good to be up here with you good folks, man. I appreciate all the cash apps from the brothers, you know, as always, you know, like I always say, man, I don't take you good folks lightly, man. I never have, and I never will. But before we get out of here, I will reiterate what I was saying all night, man. Brothers, this stuff is real. All right. And this stuff is dangerous. I will say again, man, don't leave it up to nobody else, man. You know, to protect you, man, protect your sexual health, man. You got to have complete control of that shit. You don't want to be a person walking around with some disease, man, for 3 and 5 and 7 and 8 years before you know you got it. Lady TWANA was lucky, all right? Because everybody's not going to have that experience. She was lucky. She was able to beat it, even after having it all those years without knowing it. She was lucky. You may not be that lucky. So don't leave that shit to chance, man. Don't leave it to chance. Protect yourself. Protect your genitals, man. Because when it all comes down to it, man, can't nobody take care of you like you. No one can take care of you like you. Brothers. All right? All right. Once again, man, shout out to everybody, man, for hanging out, man, the good folks out there and the good folks in here. Also, shout out to Brother Linnell Gant. You know, appreciate Brother Linnell for coming in and dropping those numbers on us. And special shout out, hold up. God damn it, I'm trying to get out here, Brother Terrence. You put money on the thing. God damn it. Now I gotta stop my exit and put your shit up here. He said I had to see an ear, nose, and throat doctor. I'm glad I did. I've been taking my medicine. I finished it Saturday. There you go. That's right. That's right, man. Get your ass to that doctor, brother. Get your ass there. All right. All right. Appreciate that super chat, Brother Terrence. My brother. Yeah. So we're going to get on up out of here. Folks, special shout out once again, man, to Brother Linnell for coming up and coming through. And also special shout out to Pastor TWANA LAWLER for dropping by, man, and, you know, dropping some gems on us and telling us her story. And hopefully she go ahead and write a damn movie. And if she do, you know, for Tyler Perry, she'll be back here. So, with that, I will leave you good folks with 3 words. You know, like I always do. Open your minds.
Hours of power, hours of power, hours of power, hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, see? My cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost at $1 billion. Three PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hears these sirens and looks to the mirror and sees this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, punk. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Huh? Why do you think you never pick up the paper until you read over and over and see white families? You think it's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 42 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, And the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro. And we said, look, we saying if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that anytime a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you used to drive a car. And if you use it wrong, then you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, then we calling for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Flagstaff Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Westinghouse. They will get the bill and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power, hours of power, hours of power.
Van Taylor, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear suspect down, 10-4. That's 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your mind.
Only from T.P.O.T. Media. Open your mind.